Okay, we are in. Yeah.
Are we in the main room?
Yes. Mr. Rajesh, you can start.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of ASM StratConsult LLP, I extend a warm welcome to all the attendees and panelists of this program who had joined this important panel discussion on GST. I am C. Rajesh Kumar Khandelwal, and I have the privilege of chairing today's session. We are honored that we have with us distinguished panelists who are expert in their field like taxation and finance, and along with them, we have a respected lady from the senior post from the GST department. I hope all the panelists will guide us in understanding the recent amendment in GST. As we know, that today's program is virtual program. So I request all the attendees, if is there any question, please ask their question through the Q&A section. This program is going to be discussed virtually, and in this program, we will discuss the real issues and their practical solution. But before like to introduce all the panelists, I want to share two disclaimers with all the participants that there will be no PPT in this program, and the views which shall be expressed by the panelists shall be entirely their own, and kindly don't treat the view as the legal advice. Now, I request all the panelists kindly introduce themselves one by one. Start with Mr. Manoj.
Thank you, Rajesh. But I believe that ladies first. So, ma'am, we will start with you, and after that, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Sanjali ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I am Sanjali Dias, and I am with the government last 26 to 27 years. Initially, before I joining at present, I am working with Maharashtra as an appellate authority. Before this, I was working with GSTN at New Delhi, and that work was more about digitalization, about the compliances, all the modules like registration, refund, payment, compliances. And at present now again, I'm back to my parent cadre, Maharashtra.
Welcome, ma'am. Yes, Manoj.
Yeah. So my name is Manoj Mishra. I'm partner with Grand Thornton Bharat, a consulting company. I am like having experience of around 25 years. I'm a lawyer by qualification, and having been looking into like indirect taxation, sales tax, VAT, and GST, apart from excise and including excise and service tax, all along my career. So happy to be part of this distinguished panel, and would be happy to share my view.
Welcome, sir. Yes, Mr. Assis.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet all of you virtually only, but it's always a pleasure. I'm Ashish Malhotra. I've been into manufacturing industry for almost 30 years in Noida, and we represent an association which is basically based on MSME and MSME sector. We represent Indian Industries Association in Noida, and I have been a part of this association for the last 25 years. I'm now, at present, I'm the advisor to the Noida chapter, but previously I was vice chairman to this sector. Being into the manufacturing industry for 30 years, I don't say we go into the problems every day, but it's part of our life now. So it will be a pleasure to hear from Manoj ji, Sanjali ji, and Ajay ji to how to get out of those problems so that I can guide my fellow MSME manufacturers out of it. Thank you.
Yes, now, Mr. Ajay.
Namaskar to everyone. I am Ajay Sahasrabuddhe. I am currently working with Hero Fincorp, is the leading NBFC in India, focused on MSME sector. I am in the BFFI sector from over 2 decades now. We'll be happy to part of this conversation and a great learnings which I am looking forward.
वेलकम मिस्टर अजय। इस प्रोग्राम में मैं सभी का स्वागत करता हूं और मैं जो 22 सितंबर 2025 से गवर्नमेंट ने जो नोटिफिकेशन इशू किए हैं उनको लेकर ट्रेड और इंडस्ट्री में बहुत सारे कंफ्यूजन्स हैं, डाउट्स हैं। सो व्हेन द बैनर ऑफ द ASM StratConsult share among the participants, we have received so many questions from the participants and we have jotted down all the questions. Among these questions, we have selected few questions and these questions are relating to the common issues. In this program, we will discuss the real issues and their practical solution. So I have a list of all the questions. I shall start asking answer from Mr. Manoj. So from the questions,
सर
yes, Mr.
अजय जी एक बार और छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन आपका भी चाहेंगे सर।
Okay, no issue. I am CA Rajesh Kumar Khandelwal. I am a certified public accountant from the Ireland. In 2006, I have qualified my chartered accountancy course along with MBA, LLP, and thereafter in 2014, I have qualified my company secretary course, and I have qualified 8 post-qualification courses after my chartered accountancy course, and I am a regional member, regional committee member from the EPC India. And I am a resources person by the SEBI. I have so many degrees qualification. So बाद में कभी बात करेंगे, but I love to GST और मैं अभी तक अपने आप को GST में स्टूडेंट ही समझता हूँ. I daily used to read GST from 6 to 8. We have total 53 participants in each day except Sunday. We daily used to read GST on daily basis. So this is my brief introduction, sir. तो मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन है, माय क्वेश्चन इज टू मिस्टर मनोज. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन बट पर्टिनेंट क्वेश्चन बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन डाउट्स रेज्ड बाय द ट्रेड एंड इंडस्ट्रीज एंड द रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन. Suppose certain goods were purchased before the 21st September 2025 and rate of tax was 12%, but thereafter the rate was reduced to 5%. तो यहाँ पर दो क्वेश्चन है, whether there is a rate cut and rate reduced to 5%. So this particular registered person can sold their goods at a rate of 5% or he will sold their goods on the rate at which he has purchased the goods. This is my first question. And in first question, I want to include my second question also. If he has purchased goods at a rate of 12%, but from 22nd September, rate reduced to 5%, whether entire ITC will be available to that particular registered person? This is my question, sir. Mr. Manoj.
Thank you. So first question about rate. So we know that rate is decided as per the time of supply. And time of supply would be, for time of supply, we apply 3/2 formula that supply of goods, receipt of payment, and issuance of invoice. Okay, so out of the like 2 factors would determine the applicability of rate of that particular product or services or any particular. So in your case, when goods were supplied, it was rightly charged at the rate of 12%. Now, when it will be sold, when rate would be 5%. So since it is a tax on supply, rate would be 5%, not 12%. Hope this answers your first question. Second question is that what would happen to the 12% tax which has been paid? So answer to this question is that irrespective of our rate on output, entire credit would be available to the person who has procured those goods and making further sale at the rate of 5%. So, and if like it results into accumulation of credit or inverted duty structures, we have provisions where he can go and file for refund, except for the cases where we all are discussing in the public media, which are like cess and cesses payable on automobile and rentals. Hope this answers your question.
तो मिस्टर मनोज बिल्कुल आपने क्लियर किया, मुझे उम्मीद है सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को क्लियर भी हो गया होगा. रेट विल अप्लाई एज ऑन 22nd of September 2025 and there will be no blockage of input tax credit because पहले 12% पे परचेज किया था, now you are sold goods on 5%, so there is no blockage of the 7% to the registered person. So I think we have clear all the registered person about this doubt. So we are taking the real issues, and if you have any question, please ask in Q&A section. Now, Mr. Ashish, do you want to ask any question?
Sir, because of this ambiguity, like we are starting this GST 2 on 22nd of September, in the middle of the month. I think there'll be a lot of short-term litigations which are going to happen.
Yes, sir. There may be a full, yes, there may be a full chance of litigation, but I have clear demarcation when I supplied my goods. If I supply my goods on or after 22nd September 2025, then definitely I will charge new rate. If I have supplied my goods on or before 21st September.
Charging a new rate is okay, but the problem is going to come when we ask for the ITC from the department. That will be a litigation point when the department is going to say, like, when the goods were sent on 21st and did not reach your premises on 22nd, you cannot get that ITC of 12% on that raw material.
Anybody want to answer, or should I answer? Yes, Mr. Manoj.
Madam Sanjali will be the right person to answer. I can see her smiling. So
yes.
What Ashish ji has said, it is very right. Transition phases are always difficult for both the stakeholders, like for the taxpayers also and for the adjudication authorities also, because we'll take the example what Rajesh ji has mentioned, that after 22nd September the same goods are at 5% and earlier they were 12%. So in that case, what is going to happen? What Manoj ji has said is very correctly, but I would like to add two things. Here, two sections will take place. As CA practitioners are also there, so I would like to mention two sections. One is a section 14 of CGST Act 2017, which is about the time of supply. It is about the goods and it is about the services also. And the another section is section 18, subsection 4, that is about relevant to the input tax credit. So coming to the goods of this time of supply with respect to goods and services. So suppose after 22nd September, the goods and supply of goods are completed after 22nd September. So in that case, invoices and payment is also after the 22nd September, then the rate will attract with the revised rate. Okay. And if the supply is completed before 22nd September and payment, either invoice, which is also before 22nd September, then the rate will be the earlier rate, original rate, the earlier rate, that is 12% in this example. So the taxpayers should remember this way, and they should keep their accounts very perfect for the verification of the adjudicating authority. Now the question specifically asked by Ashish ji, the goods have have reached the earlier day and it is sold the next day. So this kind of this subjective transactional scenarios will be answered by the 14th section, which I have explained now, which is about the goods supplied, about the invoice date, and about the payment date. If the accountants, they very carefully apply to their ledgers or their registers, then probably this particular issues, the litigation issues, the differences between the stakeholders will not arise. Now the second part, which is about, yeah, can I complete?
Yes, no, yes, please complete.
The second part about the input tax credit, which is the most the lovely, I mean the likely part of the taxpayers, that about the input tax credit, where there are two issues. There the rates are reduced, like from 12% it is reduced 5%, say, or the rates are gone to the nil rated. So these are the two scenarios, that the rates come to exemption and the rates has reduced. Where the rates have reduced, there the ITC will get accumulated, and it will be by crediting it to the liability of taxpayer, they will receive that particular excess ITC by crediting it to its liability. But in case of exemption, if the goods are exempted, like they were 5% and now they have become a 0%, in that case, the section 18, subsection 4 will get attracted, and there they have to reverse their ITC.
Is it? So they'll lose that ITC amount.
Where the goods are taxed at the rate of 5%, and now they have become exempted in the revised rate. There they have to revise the, reverse the ITC. This is the section 18 of the CGST Act 2017. As against where the rates are reduced, like from 12 to 5%, yes, their ITC will get accumulated, and in subsequently they can credit that ITC against the liability in the subsequent period.
Thank you, ma'am. That's a very informative statement for us.
Sir, I want to add something in it. Mr. Assis?
Yes, sir.
Sir, specific solution already provided by the law. Suppose I am transporting goods from Haryana and invoice has been raised with a rate of 12%, and movement start on 20th September and goods reach to Mumbai on 25th September. So it is not possible to change the invoice because invoice already issued, e-way already issued, goods already dispatched. So how it is possible that ITC will be blocked? So there is a clear-cut solution provided by the law. Because invoice is already generated, so supplier need to generate a credit note for the differential amount. Suppose GST rate reduced to 5%, so supplier will issue a credit note to the recipient. By this effect, recipient will reduce his input tax credit, and liability to the extent of 7% will be reduced for the supplier also. So there is no ambiguity, there is no dispute, there is a clear provision in the GST law. And ITC will not also be blocked.
Got your point,
right? Just to add, so
Yes.
like to be honest, it's not as complicated as being projected. So two things you have, as Madam very clearly mentioned, that out of the two events has to be there, like supply of goods and invoice. That in 99.9% cases it will happen that when any manufacturer is removing goods from his factory or godown, there will be invoice and then supply of goods. So out of three, two events has already been. So the rate applicable on that particular day will apply. Okay? And since your supplier has paid that taxes, the recipient has no business to check the rate applied by the supplier, whether it is classification is correct or not. That has to be decided at the end of the supplier. So if he paid 12% tax, then I like to the best of my knowledge, I could not come across with any provision which says that if rates change later on, that your rate will get restricted. So if he had done discharge his or her tax liability at the time of removal correctly, then you would be entitled to get full credit. So you need not, it is not that complicated. And second part, which Madam has very clearly mentioned, that if after 20 seconds the product gets exempted, then in any case you will not be entitled to any credit, because for taking credit, it is necessary that your product should be taxable. You should have a taxable output. If you do not have any taxable output, the question of credit does not enter. So hope I think we all are talking the same language, but it's not that complicated. So please, yeah.
So Mr. Assis, आप वाले क्वेश्चन में मैं एक क्वेश्चन ऐड कर देता हूँ. Suppose rate of tax before 22nd of September was 12%. Thereafter, it reduced to nil, means goods become exempt. So supplier having the stock on 21st of September 2005. Now, what will happen the stock? Whether ITC need to be reversed, and if there is any balance, after reversal, the input tax credit with respect to the stock lying in this stock, goods lying in this stock, whether it will be lapsed or is there any use of that particular input tax credit? Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
would like to
ma'am.
take,
Manoj,
Yeah,
would you like
me.
to?
yeah,
Any
ma'am,
ask-
you would like to take it or should I take it?
I'll take up this question. You
Please,
want me
ma'am.
to take up this
Please,
question?
please, please.
Okay. So the question is that in inventory the goods are of 12%, and the same goods after 22nd September it become 5%. That is the
It
question.
become exempted. It become exempted.
It becomes exempted, zero.
And stock in the godown of the supplier.
Yeah, so see, in due course of time, whatever the stock which has been purchased at the rate of 12%, but after 22nd September, when it is sold at 0%, it is exempted. So in that case, as I told you earlier also, the section 18, if you read, so with respect to that section, and one more section is there, 17 subsection 2, which is the block credit. So in that case, the entire ITC, he has to reverse that. He or she taxpayer has to reverse that the ITC which is in the inventory.
You mean to say, if goods become exempted, then definitely,
Yes.
if
Yes.
stock is
Yes.
there, then definitely supplier will reverse the input tax credit with
Correct.
respect to the goods lying in this stock. Mr. Assis, you are unmuted, sir.
Yeah, it's clear, sir. I've noted it down.
Okay, I want to ask
Thank you.
one question from Mr. Ajay. Yes, Mr. Ajay, जो अभी ये 22 सितंबर से अमेंडमेंट आए हैं और गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया कि जो कंज्यूमर्स हैं उनके पास में सेविंग्स इंक्रीज होगी, उनके पास में जो उनकी परचेजिंग पावर है, बिकॉज उनके पास कुछ ना कुछ मनी रहेगा, तो डेफिनेटली दे विल एक्सपेंड इट. तो आप इसको, बिकॉज यू आर ए फाइनेंस मैन, आप इसको किस एंगल से देखते हैं जो ये चेंजेस आए हैं इनको, प्लीज.
From an lending landscape, to be very honest, we are cautious because we don't want it to fall into the trap of optimization, because everyone was expecting price cut has happened and all the price benefits will pass through consumers and customer will be in a queue to buy the products. In reality, in last 8 days post this 22nd, the transition, and the relevant question has been asked, the transition is still taking time, and particularly for an auto industry where you will see a surge of business happening in this from Dashera till Diwali. If it is not got cleared and there is no clear instruction or understanding from the stakeholders, we are witnessing in first 6 days of the festive time, there is a movement, but there is not an incremental business footfall has happened. So that is a one worry every financier, every bank is looking at. As far as the benefit savings from the cost, will it get converted into, I think RBI rate cut has given some benefit. Transition of this, I'm not pretty sure how much it will come. But as rightly mentioned by all of you, if that clarity comes in, people solve their teething issues, then I think towards Diwali, I think that push should come in, and that's we all are hoping. So people like you needs to educate people from the MSME side, should also give them that confidence that this is an advantageous to them. One big area which we see, because every lender has now started giving a financing based on the GST. So that becomes a very big tool for MSME to, and particularly NBFCs like us who intend to serve to underserved. There, I think, because of the slabs coming down, there will be an endeavor from the manufacturer and MSMEs to be on the more formal side. So in overall sentiments, I think it's positive, but first impact which everyone was witnessing, we really wanted to stay away from an over optimism and really wanted to address this critical issues which are creating confusion of passing this benefit. And I think this event should give us some positive sides to all the people who are really wanted to clear the confusion.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. Now, because Mr. Ajay has touched and used the word automobile, so I am asking a question with respect to the automobile, and this question is not addressed to Mr. Ajay. My question is addressed to Mr. Manoj and Madam from the GST department. As we are all aware that there is a compensation cess on the vehicles, but after 22nd September, there is no compensation cess. Question मेरा वही है दोबारा से. No time has been given to the automobile dealer कि जो उनके पास में स्टॉक है और उनका जो कंपनसेशन सेस नील रेट कर दिया गया है, तो क्या क्या होना चाहिए? बिकॉज दे हैव व्हीकल स्टॉक, लेकिन उनके पास में या तो कंपनसेशन सेस उनके बैलेंस में है या है ही नहीं, तो क्या उनको भी रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा अकॉर्डिंग टू सेक्शन 18 सबसेक्शन 4? माय क्वेश्चन टू मिस्टर मनोज देयर आफ्टर मैडम.
So, Rajesh, compensation says if you have, you'll have to first. If you don't have, you have to. Okay. So the question, the answer is like as of now, there is no compensation. There is no compensation. The problem would be for them who have got compensation in their books and now they cannot utilize. For them, it is a problem. And I do not foresee the people who would not have compensation in their book and like while they have the inventory. So yes, as of now, like I would say, it is a big issue. All automobile industry is like a client, and a lot of people have reached out to the Ministry of Finance, and I have heard that CBC chairman clearly mentioned that. There will be no refund that I have to live with. So yes, it is a big issue and big setback for the automobile industry. That's why you would have seen that most of the companies started giving discount even before new rates were announced because they wanted to utilize their compensation. So yes, they have to live. As of now, there is no reply. They don't have any option but to either speak to the government or bear the law.
So Mr. Manoj, your opinion is that in cess, if there is any balance in cess, it need to be reversed or paid in cash if there is a stock of vehicle.
I did not say that.
Okay.
I said that they cannot utilize it. I said that they cannot utilize it. Whether reversal or not, perhaps we have to think about it because when they availed that credit, at that point of time, it was available to them. It was rightfully availed. So whether it is required to be reversed, that is something a legal question which I would refrain from answering here. But yes, it cannot be utilized.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manoj. And Madam Sanjali, what is your opinion on this? Sorry, view.
Yeah, actually, the compensation size is completely, it depends on what the policy government is going to take in future. But at present, we can see that now they cannot utilize the compensation size to their liability side because SACE has to adjust against the SACE liability. So, since the 22nd September, I have been reading in the newspaper also from automobile industry that they have to forego some around 2,500 crores of SACE, and that is a big question for them. It's a cost for them. But yes, because the thing is that the SACE has to adjust against the SACE. So now there is no SACE, so they cannot adjust it.
So they can kept SACE balance in their balance, no need to reversal, madam?
See, actually, what I understand, the reversal, what I said is about, if just keep it aside, says it is about, I was talking about the exemption goods. That
Yes.
time, why I said it has to be reversed, because those goods will be sold in the future. Okay. And that ITC, which may be the SGST, maybe IGST, or maybe CGST. So that can be, I mean, those categories still are there when they are selling in the subsequent. But now in the today, in case of sales, that sales is not there. So it is not to be reversed. It will be kept in the register, lying in their registers. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Manoj and Ma'am Sanjali both has given their view that it should not be reversed.
I'm sorry, Rajesh, I just intervene you.
Yes.
See, ITC to be reversed means what? If they have utilized that ITC while crediting their liability, while discharging their liability, when they have utilized that ITC, there the question comes of the ITC reversal.
Yes.
You are getting my point. So that is the reason we use that word for this exempted because these goods are sold and that ITC is already used in their while discharging liability. If they have used that ITC, then they have to reverse it.
नहीं तो हम इस क्वेश्चन को मैडम ऐसा ले सकते हैं ना कि जो व्हीकल का स्टॉक है लेकिन उनके ऊपर जितना भी सेस था वो खत्म हो चुका है, already used in the outward supply of the vehicles. So stock is there, but there is no balance.
There is no sales now on the outward liability.
So,
okay.
Ajay, if Rajesh, like what you are trying to say, if I can, you are trying to say that that for compensation which they paid on their purchases got offset against the value addition, and as of now they do not have any sense lying in their books. This is what this is your precise question.
Yes.
So to answer it, that no, they did not to reverse it or they did not to pay it. So whatever is, like if they have anything, they cannot utilize it. But if already utilized, nobody is going to ask them that you pay.
Okay, thank you. I have the same view, sir. Manoj, sir. I have the same view. Mr. Ashish, do you want to ask any question? Or I have another question from the from the participants.
I would like to ask. Ma'am, nothing with the department, but I would like to. There was a very talk around our MSMEs, like we are all under pressure because the targets of GST departments are still the same and might have been increased. Eventually, it gets increased every month or every yearly, or the collection targets. But the percentages have come down. So of course, the pressure will be passed on to the MSME sector or the manufacturing sector or the service sector, because that targets have to be met by the department still. Now, with the collection was 12%, now the collection has come down to 5%. The gap of that 7%, of course, the pressure is going to be on the department as well as the manufacturer. How will we handle that? Because that eventually passed on to from the department, from the government to the department, from the department to the manufacturer, I would rather say. I'm only talking about manufacturing industry. This will be a pressure point for all the manufacturing industry.
Yeah, as I said, transition is always challenging. If you remember that 8 years before, when the GST was also enacted, the same kind of doubtful environment was there. We have subsumed all the taxes in one GST. So whether the revenue will grow or it will reduce, or it will, I mean, pre-GST and post-GST, that whether we will grow above pre-GST period, the revenue growth will be there. So these kind of questions are always there, but we could see the GST revenue growth after 2017. And by now, if 24-25, the government has got a revenue of 22 lakh crore of revenue. Now the question comes of this year, after 6 months when we have reduced the tax rate, whether we can keep the same momentum in our revenue. But after reading newspapers and the policy meeting, this GST Council meeting, press meetings, I could understand that the government is looking after the mobilization, the consumption, towards the consumption, the demand will increase. That is what the government is looking forward during these festivals like Navratri and for the Diwali and the Christmas, the New Year. So by increasing the consumption, the government can keep that buoyancy in the revenue. I would like to give some anecdotes over here. In the past 25 to 30 years, if you remember, there were 2-3 budgets where there were the revenue cuts, but in the subsequent period, the revenue has grown. But there are many other multidimensional factors are there. It is not necessarily that only tax cut will increase the consumption or it will increase the demand. There are other factors like, as we all know, that geopolitical factors are also there. So this is just to watch period to sustain, and maybe after 2-3 months the things will become stable and certain, and then we can assess this revenue figures.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This one question I have it from Manoj ji here. Like representing an MSME sector, we have small sectors with us, the middle sectors with us. In the rural or in the semi-urban areas, the units, the manufacturers, the traders, even they cannot afford a full-time consultant with them rather, and they don't have a full-time accountant also, they rely on a part-time accountant. How can a big consulting firm like you can educate the business community to handle all these issues, the litigations, the knowledge about the GST, which is very rare. So being an education sector, we can do it. But a rural or a semi-urban sector are lacking in this, and they cannot afford a full-time consultant. So how can a big consulting firm like you can help us out?
Ashish, what we do at GT, what we do, we organize various seminars or webinars where we especially invite our friends from SME sector, and we educate them on various issues related to GST, customs, or other indirect taxes, and my counterpart in other tax like direct taxes, they also go and educate them. Apart from that, we also issue periodical magazine where we talk about latest changes, various issues which are being faced. And these are certain things which we are doing, and everything is like free of cost. We do not charge anything for that. So, and the purpose is to reach out to people and educate. But if you have any suggestion by which you think that we can reach out to them better, we can educate them in a better manner, we would be happy to join hands, and we would be happy to extend whatever we can do to make their life easy, make them easy to do business for them.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you very much. I have one question. I don't know. मेरे ख्याल से मुझे राजेश जी से पूछना चाहिए सर ये, because you represent our industry association to the government as well. I'll share an example with you. One of my friend is manufacturing threads for garments. Yarn used for the threads were at GST rate of 12% prior. After GST 2, it has come down to 5%. Now the biggest supplier of yarn to any industry, Aditya Birla Group, has increased the price by 7%. So ultimately the cost of yarn, which was at X plus 12%, now it is X plus 5%, X plus 7 plus 5% is still the same for a thread manufacturer. Of course, he cannot pass on that benefit to the final consumer. So the costs are still the same. How can the government keep a check on this? Because this GST 2 will always be a success only if the benefits are passed on to the final consumer. If the particular, I would rather say, a big manufacturer or a big corporate house profited out of it, it will be a failure. I just want to make it a very straight sense. If it is not passed on to the consumer, the final consumer who's going to get a price cut, this is a live example I'm sharing with you. Ultimately, the price of yarn is still the same. How can the government keep a check of these to any manufacturer or corporate houses so that the final benefit is passed on to the consumer?
Ashish, I think this question should be asked from the madam, because from the this is from the government department. But definitely, I want to add 2 points only, because presently anti-profiteering provision is no more in the GST Act. But definitely on other side, government trying to issue benefit of rate reduction pass on to the consumers. Government definitely trying for these issues. So in Legal Metrology Act, government has issued 2 notifications, and 1 notification also issued from the pharmaceutical point of view. So government is trying to reduce and pass on the benefits to the ultimate consumer. You have given the example of textile industry, thread industry, but I have another example that cement rates has been increased by per bag 30 rupees. So yeah. I think big houses don't want to pass benefit to the ultimate consumers. So this is the pertinent question: how the government, when there is a no anti-profiteering provision in the GST Act, how the government will ensure, or whether this is a specific strategy to delete the provision first from the GST law as like 171 and pass on and not pass on to benefit to the ultimate consumer, or केवल उनको benefit दिया जाए जो big players है. This is the question from madam.
Yeah, Anti-Profiteering Act is not in vogue also, I will say. I will give one anecdote. When 1718, when there was a transition of the GST, there is one very famous hotel in our vicinity. So I thought now rate is 5%. So the rate is reduced. So I had gone to the hotel in 2017, and then I said, Ki Medu Vada, now you have to give me at the rate of 5%. So the rate is reduced. So why the price of this particular dish is not reduced? I asked to the hotel owner, keeping my identity oblivion. So he said, madam, there is an inflation. There is a in the market, and we can't, for this 5 and 10 rupees, we can reduce the rate. So in 1617, the inflation was this percent, 1718 it has grown. So we have not reduced. So there is to identify in the entire price structure, where what is the cost of the material, what is the cost, what is the proportion of the profit, what is the proportion of the labor, and then calculate whether the tax rate, reduction of the tax rate has passed on to the taxpayer, to the consumer. It is very difficult. That is what I noticed that time when I was having that Medu Vada dish. That is one thing. And as Rajeshji has mentioned about the cement rate is reduced. But when I was reading about this real estate views, and specifically from this contractors and builders, their views, when I was assessing, when they were discussing with us, then I realized the cement rate is reduced, the brick rate is reduced, but now they are not using the bricks in the construction. That is what they said. Now about the cement, they directly do not use the cement in the construction. They use the concrete. The concrete is the rate is the same. So unless their earlier chain, they pass on the pass on the benefit to us, to the builder, we cannot pass on to the consumer. That is what I was listening, and I was trying to understand where, as a department, we can apply this anti-profiteering, and we can say, yes, you have not passed on the pass on the benefit to the consumer. So it becomes a very subjective kind of exercise. That is what I realized. There is one more point I understood. Now I am in Pune, I'm based in Pune, and the land prices are so high. 70% is the land price among the, when I go for buying a home, I'm paying 70% for the land and 30% for the construction. And again, in that 30% construction, I am a civil engineer also, so I can say a 10% or 5% is the cost of the might be the concrete. And so how much that particular portion is going to impact on the entire price which is going to be passed to the customer, it's a big exercise. So right from Hotel Meduvada to this particular construction industry, it is a huge exercise. It is a subjective thing, but certainly I will again aligning with the government use. Yes, with integrity, with the honesty, the tax payer, the businesses should pass on this particular tax cut benefit to the consumer.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. But I think जैसा कि एंटी प्रॉफिटरिंग जैसा कोई प्रोविजन है तो गवर्नमेंट को लाना चाहिए था टू इंश्योर दैट बेनिफिट शुड पास टू द अल्टीमेट कंज्यूमर. नाउ सम क्वेश्चन टू मिस्टर अजय. बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है मिस्टर अजय आपके लिए. इफ गवर्नमेंट एग्जेम्प्ट एनी प्रोडक्ट, वेदर exemption will increase the cost of product or decrease the cost of product, please?
From my limited experience on the lending side, as I rightly mentioned in the beginning of my first question point, obviously we are expecting there is a decrease in the pricing, particularly in automobile sector. Yes, obviously we are seeing that it should happen, but I am quite doubtful whether it is going to happen on the premium side, because if today there is a zero tax on the health and other insurance product, because that is also one part of our product suite which we sell, we are still not got a very clear cut guidance or notification from the insurance companies that I was paying a premium of 10,000 rupees. Now it will be 9,800 rupees or whatever. I think that is one area which I am seeing. It's still not really showcasing. The endeavor from the government was to have a deeper penetration of insurance, as we lack penetration when we compare to the world. But insurance companies are still not come forward and demonstrate that like other products has done.
Ajay, you would have some questions on finance industry also, I believe. So if you want to highlight some of the things, because you, with your experience, you know exactly how GST is going to be, the way the GST changes has happened, GST 2.0, the implication on the finance industry and on the automobile industry. I'm sure you would be having some questions. We have got Manoj, Ajay, and we are fortunate to have Sanjali ma'am, so please ask those questions also. Over to you, Ajay, to ask questions.
Yeah, first, I would like to add to what Ajay said and Madam also. See, there are two parts to it. First of all, Ajay, as far as insurance premium is concerned, I have different experience, because now it is a two-line item. One, they talk about premium, and other line they talk about like GST. And one of my premium was due on 21st. I deliberately did not pay. And on 22nd, I paid without GST. So just that benefit was passed on to me. That is all. Second, since I am working with many clients, it's very complicated. Passing on GST benefit is very, very complicated process, especially when we have a long supply chain. So suppose a person selling soap or any other product, and that has gone too deep inside the village where I'm sitting in. How that company HUL is going to ensure that the person selling some goods in my village would pass on that benefit to the consumer? I went to him, asked him for something, told him about the rate, and he said कि ये तो अब पुराने स्टॉक का है, नया स्टॉक आएगा तो हम नए रेट पे बेचेंगे. So for some companies, they have issued saying that this is what you have to pay. In some of the big electronic shops, I have seen that they have there is a proper board saying that earlier it used to be MRP used to be this, now it would be sold at this price, and adequately displayed. Even for cement companies, I'm not sure about the rate increase. I'm sure it was done prior to GST as well as I know, not before this GST Council meeting, the recommendations were announced. Okay, again, they have their own set of problems. And so saying that it was just for the sake of or giving benefit to a couple of businesses, I think it would be something undermining the effort because I think that a lot of effort are already going on, and the intention, at least from the company and the as well as the distributor side, is to pass on those benefits. Apart from that, I have also seen a circular, Madam would be aware, there is an internal instruction by the department to their officers where they are asking for information that what was the rate earlier and what the rate, revised rate after reduction, and that information has to be provided by the field officer to the commissioner on monthly basis. So there is an internal instruction, and they are diligently doing that. Many of my clients have received such notifications. And even, sir, that anti-profiteering things were not that successful. We did not see that surge of complaints and all. In most of the complaints were either lodged by the commissioner himself in most of the cases. And even out of that, 90% cases fall flat or litigations are still going on. And mostly it was very complicated, and some cases even I represented. And it was, these are like mostly white goods or electronic item where rate got reduced on, I think, 1st November, when heavy discounts were already on. And when in January, after discount period was over, companies increased rates. So the authority was after them that you did not pass on the benefit to the consumers. Which they said that, okay, but like earlier I was in any case offering discount, so rate was bound to increase. But anyway, so what I am trying to say that it has got its own set of complications. So a sweeping statement would not be as like since I work with both industry as well as department. I would say that at least at the top level, there are honest intention to pass on the benefit, but we all have to understand that it is a very vast country, and many people are many unorganized sectors, the retailers, and controlling them would be a very uphill task. Yeah, that's what I want to add.
अजय जी, आपका सवाल, आपके सवालों का इंतजार है अब।
यस, मेरे पास एक और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आया है, और मैं क्वेश्चन कोई भी आंसर कर सकता है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है। If goods were supplied on or before 21st September 2005, when the rate of GST was 12%, and thereafter on 22nd September 2025, when rate of GST was 5%, a credit note was issued with respect to this supply. So question is that which GST rate should be applied for credit note? Because when goods were actually supplied, rate of GST was 12%. But when GST credit note was being issued, the rate of GST is 5%. So at which rate of tax credit note will be issued? This is an important question among the taxpayer. Mr. Manoj?
Should I take it? So I think it should be the rate applicable on the original invoice, because it is not a new transaction. It is not a new supply. It relates to the supply which has already been paid. So rate applicable at the time of supply, and in the credit note, the previous rate applicable, previous rate which was levied, yeah.
Madam, what is your view?
Yeah, at present, my view is the same because the credit note is pertaining to the invoice, whichever is that invoice, that the same rate should prevail.
Okay. Mr. Sandeep, I think we have discussed all the questions, but we have received few questions in Q&A section. So I want to take all these questions.
Rajesh, I think Ajay will have to ask question.
Okay, no issue. Ajay, yes.
You want me to ask question?
Yes.
No, I think there are, I was also looking into the Q&A. There are quite pertinent question. I think those we'll first answer and then I will put my question.
Sure. Okay. Over to you, Rajesh.
Okay, first question is, as a shopkeeper, how will be able to use the credit in ITC due to reduction in GST from 12% to 5% starting 22nd September 2025? So I think we have already discussed this question because pehle rate 12% tha, thereafter rate is 5%. So if he in his margin, he can use this input tax credit. So we have discussed this question. Second question is, in case of a health insurance company, how do they utilize the ITC as the rate moved from 18% to nil? Because now supply is exempted, and if he has any input tax credit in input tax credit ledger, then it will be lapsed. Kindly apply section 18 subsection 4 in this case. Next question. After this major reform, should not the GST target collection should be re-baseline? अच्छा वो कुछ बताना चाहते हैं अपनी तरफ से. Because the increase in consumption may not be so high to fully compensate for GST rate reduction. Okay. This is not a question. Next. Mr. Pal, why cannot we have a one-time adjustment of compensatory cess against the future payment of GST in future? So this question to you, madam. There should be a one-time adjustment in compensation cess. So please, madam.
This is completely a policy issue. So at present, I am not able to answer this question. But
No
the past jurisprudence is that the cess will be lying in the registers.
Okay. And next comment. So only way to ensure that GST tax reduction to the customer, we have to depend on the competition to get the tax reduction passed on to consumer. No, sir. If you have any complaint that there is a GST rate reduction, but benefit is not being passed on the consumer, you can complain to the madam or complain to your jurisdictional officer or your any GST department in which you have business or you have reside. Yes. Now question is over. So Mr. Ajay. Yes, ma'am. Ashish. Please unmute yourself.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, it's the question pertains to you, the department actually. It is a very basic thing. It's a very basic thing. When we issue a e-invoice, the details are on the department site.
Okay.
Then why do we need an e-way bill along with it?
Okay. See, e-way bill is about the evidence for the movement of goods.
Okay.
E-invoice is about the supply. You have done a supply and to certain supplier, to certain the buyer, the consumer. That is a e-invoice. And when goods has to be moved, then for that purpose, for that evidence, the department has introduced the e-way bill. Earlier, there were the border check post and goods used to move. And that time, at the pass through the border check post, the goods were verified. And that time was like the time, it was taking a time and the efficiency and waste of the energy over there. But now through e-way bill, that transparency has come that whether the goods are moved from certain place to other place along with the e-invoices, what you had said.
Fine. Ma'am, e-invoices have all the details. I know this cannot be eradicated, it cannot be taken on a policy decision or something. It's a very basic question asked by one person in our association meeting. And I really like that question. When e-invoice have all the details, why do we have to have an e-way bill with just the same thing? So I know you cannot I would request you to pass on that question to the higher authorities. We can get out of that more paperwork out of it, more time consuming things.
Madam,
E-invoices
I do understand e-invoices, e-way bill, e-invoices, GST R1, then it is getting auto-populated by GST R2A, 2B, and then GST R3B, and then IMS, then GST R1A, then GST R9, and then there are GST R9C. So all these 8 returns, if you think, we can certainly make a consolidated and comprehensive package of the compliances and can always reach to ease of doing businesses. And I understand as per the PIB report, we are, as a government, it is looking forward to make it much easier.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
just to add to what Madam said, and since I have access to many of practices being followed in other jurisdictions of grandfather network. So let me tell you, as of now, they are asking for information and all. Maybe it is a transition phase. Just I think 5 years or 10 years, we will come to a situation then when you will not be required to file anything. They'll have access to each and everything whatever you are doing, including your financial, including your okay, and everything will be done from there. We are moving toward that direction, along with.
So the next generation want to get benefit out of it, sir?
I'm not sure, sir, it is a benefit or. But yes, there will be sharing of information, and there will be like if we, for example, China, any invoice which you have to, any transaction that like you have to put it through government portal. So they have everything what you are doing, all your expenses, all your income, or your invoices, everything whatever you do, they have access. So they don't need your return. But whether we can do that in India, whether it is so easy. Look at the people, like I know many, I won't name, but there are many people who have got profits of around 50, 60 lakh in a year, receiving money through QR code, but they're not filing GST returns at all. So, because they believe that they have received a payment through 10 QR codes, nobody is noticing. I told one of them, Upar subject. So, and when I say Upar Wala doesn't mean Bhagwan, I mean that government is well aware of all these things. So yes, to answer your question, what Madam said, and on the basis of whatever I could understand, I have the information, or what things are being in happening in other jurisdictions. Yeah, like it's a transition phase. We are very sound in terms of technology. We are perhaps one of the best tech system which we have in terms of technology in the world. So let's see, and hopefully when we talk about 4 or 5 years, then you may have other problems that government interfering too much into my space.
So with your permission, can I ask one question, sir? Can I ask one question?
I have one more question after Sandeep. I'll ask.
Okay, so this question is to all the 5 eminent panelists. And in fact, I was talking to one of my friends who is in the US, and I was telling him about the panel discussion. So he is into the technology sector. So he, in fact, sent me this thing. 3, 4 questions, but I'll read out only one. What role do you see for technology and AI in GST 2.0? This actually sums it up. Is there yet we all talk about AI and no discussion is complete without mentioning AI and technology. So हम GST 2 में हम क्या AI की कोई use कर सकते हैं? Can we use AI what is the role of technology? How do you see from 2025? How do you see things develop to 2028? So that we have better things. Yeah, Manojji, I knew that you would like to take it.
Yes, definitely I would like to take it because I was part of, or I am part of many government initiatives in this regard. I won't take name, but when I was talking to Chief Secretary of one of the state, they wanted to have an AI-based system where they wanted to check GST evasion by using AI. And very, very used to think, I used to think that government surveys, how do they work? And that day I got to know that the kind of brain they have. So what they were talking about? For me, look, if I have a industrial belt or industrial area, and if power consumption is going up, if power consumption is going up, it means that there should be more production. More production would mean more revenue for me. So if that revenue is not coming to me, then there should be some problem. Maybe legal problem, it should not ultimately result into tax evasion, but it should give me some kind of thinker that look, power consumption is going up, but your revenue is not going up. Similarly, PF amount is going up, deposit of PF is going up, number of employees are going up, but your revenue is not going up. Your EWB, number of entries into your states are going up, but your revenue is not going up. So these are the thinkers which would be purely AI based, and nothing to immediately do with GST, but could result into checking GST evasion to a great extent. And this is not we are talking about today. I had this discussion somewhere in 2017-18 when GST was introduced. So look at their preparedness. They are far, far ahead. But we are thinking, I think that this was a discussion I had in 2017. And today we are in 2025. We had made this and they have all these information on real-time basis. So yes, government is using AI. We have one of the robust systems, a robust technology being used for GST, manufacturing GSTN. Maybe the better person to talk about that. But yes, to best of my knowledge, we have perhaps one of the best systems in the world, and we are using AI to a great extent. And not just central government, but even state governments are geared up and understand the importance of AI and are implementing that. And you would like that.
And GST is the best of GST almost is based on AI, because in each segment of GST we are using AI, because these days if department is issuing notices ASMT 10, then this is the product of AI. Government has so many data, और जरूरत किसकी है? बस डेटा माइनिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट है, because now in coming days there is a complete blockage in GSTR 3B. We cannot edit it. This is the product of AI. So we have started AI in GST since 2017, not in 2025. So we, from the day one, we are using AI in GST. Mr. Sandeep.
For the technology, I would say, Sandeep, we are being tracked by the department by all the RFIDs, and whenever our vehicle passes a toll, so we are tracked by that. The movement of the goods are getting tracked. It is quite dangerous for us, but it is on. The government is already using the technology. Though in Noida, I can say the State Department is issuing notices on ASMT, like everyone is getting the notice on ASMT based, most of them. So a lot of technology is getting used.
अभी कोई भी एक्सपर्ट, कोई भी जो रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन है या एक्सपोर्टर है, जरा सा भी इधर उधर करे, इमीडिएट देयर विल बी ए अलर्ट पॉप अप अमंग द जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट. दिस इज द एआई सर. सो हम तो बहुत पहले से यूज कर रहे हैं इसको. यस.
Can I ask one question, if allowed?
Yes.
It's on the lighter side. Manoj ji and Rajesh ji, you have interaction with the government department, with the government directly. Your associations are very influential. Sir, why didn't you reduce the professional tax to 5% from, still it is 18%. We'll have to pay to a chartered accountant 18%. We have to pay to a consultancy 18%. Kindly get it reduced, sir. As a MSME, we're facing a burden on that.
Sir, you can take
Ashish,
input.
you have the government sitting over here, so you please should go to the government directly.
Chartered accountant association and consulting, they are interacting with government on the daily basis.
So I firm believe if there is an exemption or there is a nil rate of tax, then definitely cost always increased. If there is a tax of 5%, 18% or 12%, then there should be no issue because you are a registered person. You can take input tax credit.
But a professional paying a professional 18%, sometimes people don't go to that level. Ki, theek hai, saab, aap paise le lena, bill na banao. That itself is a loss to the government, actually.
Sir, it is a matter of ethics, sir.
But I did not hear about you.
No problem, Ashish. I could see Madam take a note. She just took a note of it. So you can expect some good news shortly.
Sir,
Yeah,
we have
I have some questions.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Indradev from ASM StratConsult. So one thing which I am concluding after hearing from all these super experts, okay, is that government actually does not have a reliable way to ensure that the tax cuts are actually passed on to the consumers, because in case of real estate, the example which was shared by Sanjali, it clearly shows that the GST benefits on cement could be eaten up multiple times by the land sharks. So instead of 70% cost of the land in Pune, next day after on 22nd September, that cost of land becomes 75%. So all your GST benefits are gone. Okay. So in a way, it is the mafias in various industries which actually dictate the price increases, not necessarily the GST part and things like that. So the next major reforms should be to use this data like AI and to go after those mafias to make those prices reasonable. Maybe this is a food for thought. So I just want to stop at that and ask for comments from all these super experts.
Thank you, Mr. Paul, for your question. और जो concern आपका है ना, वही concern मेरा भी था. There should be at least some provision in the GST Act to ensure the passing the benefit to the consumers. But I don't know why there is no provision. लेकिन मैंने किसी conference में सुना था या newspaper में मैंने पढ़ा था that the industrialist manufacturer have give assurance to the government that definitely they will pass the benefit to the consumer. That why government has not made any specific provision for this. Sanjay, madam, to you.
I would like to give one more example. Just I was reading in the Mint. I read about one insurance company. Their dilemma about this 22nd September, as the general and life and health insurance all are the exempted. So now, according to the company, as we all discussed, the price, it will be the cost for them once it is gone to the exemption. And rather, before 22nd September also, the insurance companies were requesting not to have a exempted tax. Didn't want to go in the exemption. So that is their cost. That is what they are saying now. So what was their opinion? They have a dilemma now, whether we should reduce the profit and pass on this to the consumer, or we should increase the premium. That is what their dilemma is. So this is a very tricky question. That is one thing. And what I understand after in hindsight, when I in 2017-18 while I experience and everything, the market will take care of this. This is just a month of this is a period, a short period, transient period of 3-4 months, where we are significantly wants to see whether the benefit has passed on or not. But after 4-5 months, everything will be stable and it will go to its natural phenomena. So market price is the only remedy. Market will take the prices.
One major player, which is Star Health, and not a very respected player, but that has given open ads that we are passing on the benefits. So other medical insurance, health insurance companies, the big ones like HDFC, SLI and ICICI Prudential, they will not have much option. They will also have to pass the major part of it.
The competition
So
itself
that
will
is the,
take time. Yeah, sorry to intervene you. A
that is the
competition
reason
itself.
why.
Yeah.
Exactly. So penal provisions in the past in IT Act as well as Sales Tax Act and GST Acts, they haven't really helped the psychology. So instead, you do the penal provisions by building your rock solid case based on the AI related data, and then you go after the right target. For example, in case of real estate, the price reductions don't happen. They will keep on increasing. Why? Because the 70% land cost becomes 75%, and the GST reductions on cement and construction, everything gets completely eclipsed, right? So use that data to go after the land sharks and the price of how the demand and supply of land is being moderated. So I think there has to be far greater application of the AI approach with much more higher level policy decisions, something like which is beyond just the GST Council. So that is probably the way to go forward. And we don't know, we can't influence everything this way, but there are certain authorities where inputs on this can be provided. For example, the PMO office and the planning related organizations, Niti Aayog, they may be the right person to use this type of data. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Mr. Ajay, have you any question? Because we have already 12:18.
No.
No. Okay. So should we conclude this program?
Yes, sir. I think we have already crossed the time this thing. I don't know how to thank. In fact, GST के नाम से ना मुझे लगता है कि अब पता नहीं बहुत ड्राई टॉपिक होगा, बहुत सारी टेक्निकल चीजें होंगी. I never knew that I'll have so much of fun, and I would like to thank everyone for being present. In fact, I'd like to tell you a small instance. 3-4 दिन पहले, as I was walking from my office to the parking, in fact, my background is from Hero MotoCorp, so I'm a two-wheeler man, right? So I found two people talking near a new bike. One was standing near an old bike, and they must be friends. So I just overheard them because there was one car passing. So I had to stop for a minute. So I just heard them talking about the new bike. So I told the other guy that, why don't you buy a new bike? He says, हाँ, मुझे तो अभी मोदी साहब ने, just listen to this thing. मोदी साहब ने GST बचत उत्सव के बारे में बोला है. मैं अगले साल January, the year change always makes it better. I was planning to buy it in January, but now I'll see in case I can buy it now. So that is the excitement. That is what India is. We have even forgotten Mr. Trump and everything else. We are all talking about GST, and that's what India is so great, and we are all loving the GST 2.0. There were a lot of queries that were there. I'm glad that Ashish asked many things. I'm sure it's going to go to the MSMEs because ASM StratConsult believes in serving the MSMEs. We are going to be the advisory to the MSMEs and be the voice of the MSMEs. So thank you so much. I'd like to first thank Rajesh ji. Rajesh ji, I have been a fantastic moderator and a panelist. I just want to thank you, Ashish. My thanks to you, are a dear friend, so I won't put my hands like this for long. Ajay ji, it has been always a pleasure meeting you, though we are meeting virtually after many months, but we'll meet soon in person. Manoj ji, I hope to come to your office. It's a pleasure that you are here. And I still remember you, I did not even complete the sentence. You said, yes, I'll join. And that is something that I have told it to so many people. Thank you so much. And ma'am, I am so very grateful that you could join in your position to be a part for 1.5 hours and to give so much of clarification. It means a lot to my company. It means a lot to me individually and to all the panelists. My sincere thanks to you. Thank you, all the audience who have joined, because without you, we could not have done this panel discussion. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll stay
We
connected.
really had all kinds of people with the GST, right from government to the CA and whatnot.
Yeah.
We will rerun this again and again. This
Absolutely,
thing
ma'am.
is recorded.
Thank you.
Recorded version.
Thank
We
you
will
so
keep
much.
posting on our media.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We'll stay connected. Okay.
Yes.
You can close the call, Saptarishi.